Good afternoon, I'm Jeff. I'm a sewer tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 17851 Westview Drive here in Lake Oswego. We're located down in the crawl space. We're going to be going through a 3-inch ABS cleanout here in just a moment. We're going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. We currently have water running up ahead of where we're accessing the line. Here we go. Now I'm going to kind of leave the microphone on here just because it's kind of a awkward setup in here to keep reaching back to the camera. Alright, we're going to zero the camera out right here just inside the cleanout. Here we go. Alright, transitions here. I think it may have transitioned. Yeah, looking into here, it does switch to 4-inch ABS and then to 4-inch cast iron here around 16 feet. Yeah, just transition there at 66 feet from 4-inch cast iron. It appears to be 6-inch concrete. It's kind of a hard one to tell. I believe it is 6-inch. We do have a root intrusion here at the transition joint. We'll get that marked for repair on the way out. Alrighty, and here at about 86 feet out, we have reached the main lateral connection. I'm going to do locates to verify where this is at exactly, and then we'll let the line drain out completely for the reel back. It looks like going through there that there was about at least one other large root intrusion. I think we've got 2 or 3 there to get repaired, one of which is blocking most of the line right now. So anyway, we'll have a better look at those on the way out and find out where they're at. We're going to locate the camera head successfully right at the main lateral out front. Still have a little bit of water trickling through here. We're going to give it just a moment longer to drain. And I put a marking right here at the connection to the main lateral. Depending on how extensive the repair is for the root intrusion and things like that, sometimes you're at a point where it makes more sense to just replace the whole concrete section rather than just spot repair it. So I put a marking there in the event that that were to occur. We're about 7 feet 10 inches deep here at the main. That's usually an option, especially if you're doing something like a trenchless liner. You're often much more money ahead to just do a long section rather than a short section. So we do have some standing water here in the line. It's very minimal, and it kind of starts and stops there at the very end. I mean, there's still some water trickling down the line. That's sitting right just barely over 1/4 of an inch. there's no major debris buildup there or anything. I wouldn't expect it to. Usually it takes around an inch of water before you really get debris hanging up. Well, spots like that are really only a concern if you put something down the line that really shouldn't go down there, like a big bunch of paper towels or cleaning wipes or something like that. You've got some water staining up there just up ahead. It looks like you may have possibly a crack in the pipe. And I've got the roots just in front of the camera, but just beyond those roots on the left side of the screen there's two dark spots on the concrete wall. Pipe wall. That's indicative of where you've got some kind of perforation in the line. You've got groundwater seeping in. So anyway, it's just barely beyond the roots anyway, so I would recommend taking care of that section as well. I've got that right up here by where the wall is stained. So our issues, at least in the concrete, stop here at about 74 feet. From this point on out, the line's functioning very nicely, and apart from that teeny tiny bit of standing water at the end, the concrete pipe itself is actually in pretty good condition. So this is one of those where you're probably going to be better off to do a spot repair, but I would look into, especially if when we get through these roots here, if the line is draining properly through the root area, aside from the roots obviously, that's where you're usually money ahead to do a liner rather than dig the thing up. All right, we're about 1.5 feet or so right in front of the, I believe it's the mailbox. There's a big brick pillar there. I believe that's what it is. Anyway, we're just in front of that. Looks like the line probably runs almost smack dab underneath it. Because of that staining there, we kind of have a bad view of it. You're not going to get watermarks like that in a line unless you've got something allowing water to seep in from the outside. So there's either hairline cracks there, there's roots working on that spot or something like that, but it's close enough to all these roots, there's no reason to not deal with that as well. But that is about halfway underneath the sidewalk area. And then we have some very large roots here. We've got one at about just in front of the camera here. Another large one there as well. And there's one at the transition point. So we're going to push just inside the concrete pipe. And we do have a little bit of stand water right here. This is a minimal enough amount that if I were to see this in a newer pipe, a little bit of water like this, I would not recommend a repair on it. The roots are a much different story. So this is one that you could do a liner. Having that little bit of water left over at the end is not a big deal. I mean, you're sitting at about 1/16 of an inch right here for barely a couple feet. So the liner is definitely still an option, but I've got a X mark at either end of the spot repair here. And again, that starts just out in the sidewalk, and that's going to go back onto the very front edge of the property here in just a moment. But if you do a pipe liner, I would look at the cost difference to lining the entire concrete section. It's often much more cost effective to line a large section than it is a short section. But if you're dealing with a concrete sidewalk there and a mailbox and stuff like that that's over the top of it, and possibly digging there may kill off the trees. If you love the trees, then the way to go here would be to trim the roots out of the way and then do a pipe liner through this section. Okay, just got done locating the entire spot here to repair. It extends from about 68 feet here to 74 feet. The repair is right around 6 feet deep. It starts right underneath a huge boulder at the front of the property. I have a white paint marking on top of that and extends out underneath the sidewalk area. I do recommend it be repaired. Liner is probably going to be your best option, as there's a lot of stuff over the top of this section of the line. Either way, I'd recommend that get repaired.
is all joints?
Yeah, this is,
Okay.
it comes over here, Y connects on.
Nice. So now, how does it know the start to the distance?
Oh, I've zeroed the length out right at that spot there. Just a second here. Again, just about to reel the camera out of the line. Aside from the spot with the root intrusions, the rest of the line is in good shape. I do recommend looking into what it would cost to line the whole concrete section, because at a certain point that will wear out over time. So recommend at least the spot repair. I also recommend the line be jet or hydrojetted just to clean all the debris and old scale up in the cast iron. Aside from that, their line itself is, aside from the roots being in there, would have good flow to the main lateral and would function properly were they to be gone. So get that taken care of, and then re-scope to make sure the repair went well.